In part one, I talked about the idea of the pursuit paradox and how it challenges everything we're taught about relationships inside of a Christian marriage. And this paradox says that the harder you chase your husband or try to solve the issues and problems between the two of you, the more he's going to push away from you. It's not because he doesn't care, but because this dynamic disrupts the natural, healthy polarity between the two of you. Healthy masculinity responds to how femininity is, not what she does or accomplishes. So, if the pursuit paradox shows us what doesn't work for femininity and why it doesn't work, it's healing and rediscovering your feminine power that shows you what does. God created femininity to be so complex and beautiful by the absence of testosterone, so that in her natural state of being, she's going to draw masculinity to her. But bad things happen when we forget this truth. What do I mean by bad things? I mean that Christian wives have been led to believe a false narrative that says, now that you're married, you should orient your life so that it orbits around the man. And then gradually what happens is that most, not all, but most of us, we end up losing our sense of self with the hope of gaining attachment and relationship. This happens because estrogen is the adaptable hormone, not testosterone. Women are naturally wired to respond, to adjust and mold themselves to their environment, particularly when it comes to relationships. It's a key feature of estrogen. Adaptability is a remarkable strength when it can operate inside of the safety of masculine provision and love. But it becomes a painful vulnerability when it's misunderstood by unhealed masculinity or intentionally used against a wife by a man that's toxic. That false narrative, it's not overt or loud, and it doesn't happen all at once. It's a subversive twist in understanding that happens subtly. You tell yourself you're just being a good wife, serving your husband the way Scripture says you're commanded to. But what if I told you that all of what you've been taught about serving in marriage is leading you to abandon your identity as God's daughter? Galatians 5 verse 9 and 1 Corinthians 5 verse 6 says, a little leaven works its way through the whole batch. That means a little bit of false teaching for you will spread through you and infect the entire marriage and your relationship with God. Over time, the more you center your life around your husband, the more your world will shrink. What happened to me was that I ended up, little bit by little bit, suppressing my own needs and desires and identity so that it would fit into what Dean's expectations were and what he demanded from the marriage. Instead of thriving in my God-given femininity and in the unique personality that he created in me, I began to lose myself by adapting a little bit here and a little bit there to someone else's preferences, habits, and even his weaknesses and limitations. You know what I mean by weaknesses and limitations? His sin. It's the only way the marriage can be when a man becomes the center of it. My confidence really gradually faded, and my individuality eroded to the point where there was nothing left of my primary identity as a daughter of the King. Now, I was just a wife who served a man.